All right, so here's a behind the scenes of how I actually did the calligraphy and artwork for this hand-bound leather book. If you haven't already, go back and watch the other video where I kind of describe the different features and you can see a lot more of the calligraphy in it. So I started by marking the margins very carefully on each page, and then I cut apart all of the drafts of the letters that I created in order to transfer them into the book. So the letters each have a registration mark, and I carefully lined that up with the margins and traced using carbon paper the letters into their respective pages. And then I traced them with a micron pen just to keep the lines correct and where they were, so I wouldn't erase them or smudge them as I worked. After that, I used a template and guideline, or to mark the guidelines into the book. So I lined the edge of the template up with the edge of the margin and used a small pencil to transfer the lines over. And here I'm marking X is where I mean for the calligraphy to go so I don't get mixed up. I practiced all of the calligraphy at size before I wrote it into the book just to be sure everything would fit properly. This is a practice video. I didn't actually film writing into the book. But here, after I finished all the calligraphy, then I added a watercolor wash to each of the letters just to get the colors in. And I chose a green, gold, and yellow to match the emblem on the front of the book that my client requested. So part of the way through painting, I realized I was leaving a lot of white spots, and which is great for a watercolor painting, but it's not necessarily what we go for in an illuminated letter. So I used a magnifying glass and a small paintbrush to make sure that I was getting all of the areas filled in properly with the color. So that, and it's real-time painting. I used a fine tech gold here to fill in all the gold in the letters. And then a sped up video of all the erasing. So I left all of the erasing till the end, just in case I needed to do any corrections, or it's just best to leave it all the way till the end. I'm using 2 different erasers here just to make sure I get everything, and then also a paintbrush rather than my hands to sweep all the eraser dust away. The last thing I want is additional smudges from my fingers in the pages. So lastly, I use the same decorative paper from the end pages in the book to line this protective box that I luckily found. And I added some ribbon to the box to make it easier to lift the book out of the box. That way it's less likely that the pages would get damaged. So just a couple shots of the flourishing that I added using gold fine tech again and a pointed nib. And then a shot of the decorative element at the bottom to bring color throughout the entire page instead of only having color at the top. So thank you for watching. Leave your questions below, and I hope you enjoyed this video.